Again, it's Money Tuesday. You know, it's good if you continue to save money for retirement, of course, but some people find themselves having to take out that money in an emergency. And this morning, we're on your side how you can actually combine an emergency reserve account with a retirement account as well. Stewart Welch with the Welch Group joins us now by FaceTime. Good to see you this morning, Stewart.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well. And if you know, in a best of both worlds, you know, you wish you could have both, but that is a challenge for some people to have an emergency fund as well as saving for retirement.
Yeah, Mike, you know that the most basic building blocks for any financial plan are to have an adequate emergency reserve and to be saving enough money for your retirement. And a lot of people find at the end of the month they don't have enough money to do both. And so we've come up with a strategy that's going to help you do that. So let's start with the emergency reserve fund and how much that should be.
Okay.
And what we would normally do is say take about 3 months of what it takes to pay your bills, and that should be the amount that's your target for emergency reserves. That would be your minimum amount.
Okay.
And then when we flip to the retirement side, you need to be saving a minimum of 10% of your gross income for retirement. So if you do that, if you start early and do that, you should be on a glide path to have enough for retirement. So if you can't do both, what we would say is do a Roth IRA and combine it with an emergency fund.
Now talk about why that is, because you know, you could go with a regular IRA, but then that could have tax consequences, correct?
Yeah, it is. And so there's most people don't know this, but in a Roth IRA, so first thing, Roth IRA, you put money in, you do not get a tax deduction, but once it's in there, it grows tax deferred until retirement. When you take it out of retirement, it's tax free. So most people don't know this, but with a Roth IRA, you put contributions in, you can actually take those contributions out at any time without a penalty. So that gives you, so let's just use an example. Let's say you put $15,000 in a Roth IRA, it's grown to $21,000 through earnings, and you have an emergency. You could go into that Roth at any time and take back out up to $15,000, what you put in. Now, there's a caveat, and the caveat is you want to try to avoid that. So you want to have some money in an emergency reserve account, maybe in a money market account, and then a lot of money in your Roth IRA. But the caveat is once you take it out, you can't turn around and put it back. So you lose all that future growth. And but it's a great way to do that. And what I would tell people is if you're having to choose between an emergency reserve fund and a Roth IRA, choose the Roth IRA and use it as your backup emergency reserve fund.
And sure, when you say you can't put it back, you mean put it all back right away, because there are limits in what you can contribute per year. Is that what you mean?
Well, that's exactly right. So once you take it out, let's say you took $10,000 out, you can't turn around and put $10,000 back. You can only put in whatever they allow you to put in each year. And by the way, that's $6,000 limit per year, unless you're 50 or older, and then you can put in an extra $1,000.
All right, some good information. I bet a lot there that folks didn't know. Stewart Welch, some good advice here. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, still ahead now on the Good Day Buzz. Amazon